Thank you for joining us today for another exclusive interview sponsored by Immovate. Help your horses reach their maximal potentials with Immovate's line of natural homeopathic products. I'm your host today, Aurelian Drumia. Today, we are honored to have Ajay Anne, the Middle East representative for Arqana, joining us. With over 18 years of experience and a new role with the prestigious auction house, Ajay brings a wealth of knowledge and insight into the Middle Eastern bloodstock market. Join us as we delve into Arqana's offering, Ajay's transition, and the exciting prospect for the upcoming Breeze Up Sale. Stay tuned for exclusive insights into the future of Arqana's involvement in the region. So first of all, Ajay, congratulations on your new role with Arqana. Could you tell
Aurelian,
us about...
thank you very much for having me.
Of course. Could you tell us a little bit more about what excites you the most about representing such a prestigious auction house in the Middle East?
I think it's a very progressive auction house run by people who are thinking about the future. They are doing things differently than before. They're collecting better and better horses each and every year. In terms of the European pedigrees, in terms of the American pedigrees, they're trying to attract people from not just the Middle East, but from all over the world. French racing has taken a few steps forward compared to the other parts in Europe in terms of prize money, in terms of attracting international buyers for horses in training. Yearlings have improved significantly in terms of the quality of the catalog, in terms of the sire power, in terms of the dams. So I think it's a company that is very like-minded, like myself. I like to do things differently. I call myself New Approach Bloodstock in the Middle East, and I do things differently. I like to bring more and more new people into the industry. If you see 18 years, I've been, based in Dubai. 14 years, I've been running my own bloodstock company. I would say 9 out of 10 of my clients are actually someone that I created myself. I created that interest for them to join racing, and I have more friends than enemies, so it works.
That's good. That's what you need.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
So I'm sure
tell me.
No, I'm sure you have a very deep understanding of, the Middle Eastern bloodstock market, especially with all those years.
100%. So yes, I'm primarily based in Dubai. So I've done literally 18 Dubai World Cups. I look at it in a few different perspectives because I'm of course a bloodstock agent, so I'm always looking at the pedigrees and the conformation of a horse and how they race, what style they race. But I'm also an ERA steward. So I have that privilege of sitting through a race and actually observing what kind of horses have done well, rather than just looking at a race once, just glancing over it. I get to experience it in a slightly greater detail. So obviously that's the base out of Dubai in terms of buying horses from Maidan, the dirt horses or the turf horses, quality horses that you need. The Jabal Ali race course is a little bit different. And then I have gone to Saudi. The dirt works differently. The quality of a horse is differently. I think they need a certain type of horses which works, certain pedigrees. Saudi actually breeds a lot of horses themselves, but they do bring in quite a lot of imports in terms of breeding stock. Likewise, a lot of horses in training and a lot of breeze up horses. Qatar is primarily the quality horses are all on the turf, and they have progressed significantly over the years. Bahrain has taken a few steps forward in the last couple of years. So horses from Europe are going there for a campaign. So these 4 countries would be the dominant force, I would say, in terms of racing: UAE, Saudi, Qatar, and Bahrain. At certain level of horses, and it's not easy to win races in either of those countries, and people are putting in quality money to bring quality horses to make it a proper international race meet. And there are 2 other countries which also have significant racing and don't get that much of publicity, would be Oman and Kuwait. So there are people who are actually very passionate about racing in Oman, racing in Kuwait. I have a few clients from that end as well who always call me. They might not be spending significant money to buy, but they have the passion, and there is a future. And in future, if the quality of racing goes up, I think there will be demand from that end as well. So Middle Eastern market is actually thriving over the last 15, 20 years. The concept of attracting people for the biggest and the richest race, obviously there was a significant amount of influence from Dubai, but there is certainly a very high quality race day rather than a race in Qatar now. Likewise, there is a very good race day in Saudi. Overall population and overall quality of horses as well over the years in all these countries has been going up. And
Mhm.
when you are inducing that kind of funding, obviously the quality of professionals, let it be the trainers, let it be the jockeys, let it be the whole administration part, I think everything is going up. It's a region which is on the up at the minute.
Oh yeah,
So it's quite important to concentrate and respect that region and trying to attract people from that place to come and buy horses at Arqana.
for sure. So in this specific region, how do you see Arcana's offering, catering to maybe the specific needs of breeders and owners in that region?
I would say majority of the Middle East actually buys a lot of European horses.
Okay. Wow.
Uh, I would say majority. I'm not saying all of it.
Sure.
So that majority is shared between the likes of Arcana, the Tata Cells, and the Goffs. But there are
Why
certain.
European? Why,
I'm
why would
sorry.
they why do they prefer buying European horses?
I think it's easier to retrain them,
Okay.
easier to acclimatize. If you go through the horses that have gone from the Middle East or from the European side of things to the Middle East, you will notice if you ask the professionals or if you experience it yourself, if you bought these horses, you will notice that they actually acclimatize quite quickly, especially the older horses.
Wow.
And there is, I know we have dirt racing in Dubai and we have dirt racing in Saudi, but all the big races in Qatar and Bahrain are on turf. Likewise, there are quite a lot of very high quality turf races in Dubai throughout the year. Likewise, Saudi has also started a new track ever since the Saudi Cup started. So they have also started to, buy those turf horses. But if you see the results of, say, the King's Cup in Saudi, which is primarily run on the dirt, majority of the winners have been from Europe rather than from America. So it's a it's a quality of animal that you bring and how quickly they adapt and how quickly they adapt to the I think the surroundings are important, but at the same time that the way people train is also important. So I think all those factors put together, there is a significant amount of horses that go from Europe and do well. I'm not saying they are not looking at the American side, but I think it's just more convenient and it's been working. That's why maybe that's why they are more attracted towards European horses.
Fair enough. So you did mention you used to work as an independent bloodstock agent, and obviously you've secured, some very notable sales and purchases successes. Can you share some specific accomplishment that really stands out to you and maybe the strategy, behind it?
So I have been working and I'm still working as a bloodstock agent. Um, so looking at certain significant contribution to the bloodstock industry as such. From a European perspective, I bought a horse called Planto, who was third in the Dubai World Cup twice, and we ended up selling him to Al Shakab. He stood as a stallion. He is the sire of Trushan, one of the best staying horses in Europe. I bought a horse called Novair from Dali years ago to go to India. He was a superb stallion for the farm, and he produced, after we bought him, he produced La Havre Music Show, four individual, Group 1 winners, and of course, many Group 1 winners in India. I bought a horse for a very small farm in India called Gusto. He was the son of son of Oasis Dream out of Piccolomé. And he won 5 races in a row. 3 of them were listed level as a 2-year-old. And he was a very small, but a very well put together horse. I used to call him a little northern dancer. People were people were not really impressed when he landed because he wasn't very big.
Sure.
People were not very impressed when he had his first foals and yearlings because they were not very big. But when they started running, he changed everything. He all of a sudden he was a very good looking horse, and his progeny also started to look very good all of a sudden. And they,
Wow.
you know, he he put the breeder from being nowhere to a superhero. I like these kind of horses. I think Plantor was very close to my heart because he ran third in the World Cup and he did a lot of good things for me. Novair started for a farm in India, which I did really well. Likewise, Gusto did really well. I bought a horse from Breeze Up called Grandisar. He won 10 races. He was second 13 times. He was the
Wow.
highest rated all-weather horse in the world. He won the Winter Derby in the UK. I bought a horse from, I bought another horse called Royal Dubai. He recently won 2 races in Dubai. He won a race before that as well. He's won on all weather, he's won on the dirt, and he's won on the turf. He's won in
Wow.
England, he's won in England, and he's won in UAE. Um, I bought a horse from Arqana called Sari Dubai, and American pedigree. From So he was placed on dirt many times. Then he ran on the turf, and he won a couple of races in Dubai. UAE winning turf races or any races actually is very, very competitive.
Oh,
So yeah, there is a long list of horses. I bought a mare called More Aspen, and she ended up winning a listed race in Dubai. That time it was a listed race. Now it's a Group 2 called Singspiel Stakes. She was third in a Group 2, and her first fall in Australia is a horse called King Colorado, and he's a Group 1 winner. So these little things that happen takes time.
sure.
You understand that you live your life and you keep going forward, but these horses that come and go, it takes time to actually understand what you have done and how long it has taken to actually achieve these kind of things.
Mhm.
So it's a slow process, but it's a very satisfying process.
Fair enough. And in
Yeah.
all those years, what lessons have you learned, that you believe will be invaluable in your role with Arcana?
I think relationship in bloodstock industry is more important than anything else.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I personally think it's more about building those human relationships over the years, which makes you feel comfortable, which makes your client feel comfortable to give you randomly some amount of money, could be 5,000 or 500,000, to go and spend it for him. So there needs to be a lot of trust that actually needs to be built. I personally think I like to educate people. I like to talk to them about the good, bad, and ugly things about the industry. Only then I feel that they need to understand a game that I work in and then spend money rather than randomly spending money. Because if they have a good run through or if they have a bad run, both ways they need to appreciate. Unfortunately, it's a very competitive game. Most of the times you don't do well. But if you don't do well, at least you've tried your best. And if you do well, you need to appreciate the tiniest little win as well, as much as you do a Group 1, of course. That it's actually quite difficult to reach a racetrack and then win a race. Sometimes you think that, I've just won a small race, but you have to give a credit to the trainer, to the jockey, and to the horse, and to yourself that you
For
bought
sure.
a horse actually that won a race. Because I think there is a quite significant amount of number which doesn't even make it to the race course. And it's a tough competition. It's like, it's a pyramid, the cream rises to the top. So, those slow ones don't get there. The horses which got injured don't get there. And then how's the quality of professionals who are dealing with them make them that much better, or can keep them at that level. There are quite a lot of significant factors which goes into a racehorse, which which is why I still think it's an art rather than a science, even though there is a significant amount of science that has gone into horses. But nobody can stand up very proudly and say that I have developed a, a method that you will put the pedigree and you will give the measurement of a horse and I'll find you a group one horse. Unfortunately, there are too many other factors that goes into play. So it keeps everyone going and keeps the science and the art both busy.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, AJ, Arqana is well known for its focus on top-tier yearlings, especially in the Middle East. What do you believe sets Arqana apart in the international bloodstock market, and how do you envision contributing to its success?
I think Arcana is building up a catalog which attracts the entire world, never mind the Middle East. So the quality of horses in terms of the Breeze Up to start, you would notice that the number of horses that are coming from America and the quality of horses that are coming from America that are induced into the catalog are getting better each year. The funny part is even the Americans sometimes come to buy an American horse from Arcana and take it back. So that tells you that the quality of horses have improved.
Sure.
Like a good example would be War of Will, because he was sold as a Breeze Up horse who ended up going to America and winning a Grade 1. So he came from America, went back to America, but he was broken in and breezed in Arcana. Likewise, the Middle Eastern market, we've got Guineas winners and significant contribution from the horses in training that happens before the arc. Likewise, influx from the Breeze Up horses. Likewise, the quality horses that are sold in the premium and the other sale in Arcana. So it's attracting the pedigree, and the physical is what makes you keep going up in the catalog. Let it be the premium sale in Arcana in August, and if the numbers are keep going up, then we have another sale in October. Likewise, the horses in training sale just before the arc is well known. Like, it's a very competitive, ready to run horses which run that weekend itself for them. Somebody buys it and they run straight away. Some like to take them for international campaign because they are, hand-picked. They are checked by the vets. They are, they jump a lot of hoops generally, which is a job of a bloodstock agent. Arcana does it for them already. So they are in a very comfortable position to actually say, this is a horse to go for because, most of the homework is already done.
That's true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So,
and in your opinion, what are some of the key challenges, or maybe opportunities facing the Middle Eastern racing industry? And how do you plan to address that in your new role?
I think communication is the key to, and education is the key to progress. Trying to get all the information from different parts of the world, trying to educate and trying to develop the quality of professionals that work in the Middle East, providing them the right information that, this is what has happened and this is what we are providing. I think that gives a lot of confidence to anyone who is trying to, come and buy horses in Arcana. So we have a team which would gather all the stats. We can develop that and give it to people from Saudi, people from entire Middle East, people from Dubai or people from Qatar, that such and such horse was sold in such and such places and went on to do this. Performance obviously helps, and then pedigrees always help, and educating them that they can even leave horses for training and then take them later. Some like to take them straight away. I think the challenges are that it's a developing nation in terms of nation, not just one, but all the countries are developing. So the professionals need to be educated to see how they buy or how they sell and how they manage those horses. And that happens when you bring them to France, you take them to different places, you expose them to the stud farms, you expose them to the training facilities. And that's it's a beautiful place like Deauville, like you have access to some of the best facilities.
Oh yeah,
It gives them an eye opener. Yes, there are a lot of people who have been doing it for many years, but anyone who's new coming into the industry, if he gets the right exposure, it certainly helps to go forward.
I understand.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
not at all.
That's very good. Can you tell us now a little bit more about your role, specifically, with Arqana and what it entails, especially, in representing the Middle East?
Well, first of all, I'll be in regular touch with all the bloodstock side of things from Arcana, trying
Okay.
to get information. Uh, there are certain catalogs and certain sales that will come out. I will speak to all the prospective buyers from the Middle Eastern region to see who are the buyers who have been coming, who are the buyers who have not been coming, and how I can communicate with them and provide them the catalogs, provide them the information, connect them with, there's like you could say the concierge service from Arcana to say if you need any help in terms of flights or hotels or anything else, the team will be able to guide you and book it for you, and you can. So making the journey more comfortable, informative is what my role is, so that they are happy to go to Deauville, they're happy to come to Paris.
Mhm.
They come and buy horses. So it's connecting Arcana with larger network of Middle Eastern clients, giving them more information about what horses are for sale. There are too many sales going around in the world, so people forget sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to highlight those nicer horses and do that work for them and give it to them. It gets their attention and doesn't get ignored. So, and yes, if they have any questions, I'm there to, answer and help.
Perfect. And what inspired your transition to this specific position?
I have to say, I have been helping Arcana for a few years.
Okay.
I have been in very good terms with them for many years. And I have to say, it came from them. They approached me and said, would you like to become the Middle Eastern representative? So
Oh,
it's very kind of them to ask, and I'm very happy to do it.
excellent. I'd love to talk a little bit more about your background and your family. How did you get involved with horses?
Um, I was born at a farm in India, owned by the Indian Army. My dad was in the Indian Army. He retired as a colonel, and he was a veterinary doctor as well. So where I was born is a place called Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh, and there at one time there are close to 2,000 horses.
Wow.
So basically, I grew up with horses. So I started riding at a very young age, probably 3 or 4 years old. I represented India in show jumping, so my introduction to horses was more so in the equestrian side of things rather than racing. So I did that for the first 20, 22 years of my life. I was deeply involved only in the equestrian side of things. And then representing India, learning about horses, riding them, competing internationally. Uh, that is how my association with horses started. After I finished a degree in business administration, I realized that my career in equestrian is not going to reap me many financial benefits. So, so I thought I'll go towards the more financial side of things, which is horse racing. So I shifted from the equestrian side and I started doing the postgraduate diploma in horse racing control, which is run by the turf authorities of India. So I finished that course. I worked in Hyderabad race course as an assistant stipend steward, as an assistant handicapper. Then after a couple of years, my present was my future. So I decided to explore outside. and I applied for the Dali Flying Start. Well, now it's called Godolphin Flying Start. So I went to Ireland in 2003, and 2004 I did the Flying Start from 4 to 6. Graduated in 2006 and worked for Dali for the first 4 years, and the last 14 years I worked for myself.
Wow, excellent. What a life,
So
actually.
yes, I mean, it's one of those things. It's very hard to leave a company like Dali, but I was young, I was ambitious. Um, I thought if I fail, I can go and get a job for myself. But luckily I didn't.
Excellent.
So yeah,
That's
it's
great.
a very satisfying business, I should say. You wake up every morning equally excited.
Perfect.
So yeah,
I can imagine. So
yeah.
I'd love to
So
talk to you about the Breeze Up Sale now. So,
yes,
Mhm. So
tell me.
Arqana Breeze Up Sale in May is of course a very highly anticipated event. What sets Arcana's Breeze Up Sales apart from other similar events, in the industry, and what can buyers expect in terms of quality and variety?
I think the quality of pedigree and quality of the individual over the years have been improving.
Okay.
All the top sires in Europe are cataloged. All and many top sires from America are in the catalog. So as I said before, if you can attract an American to come and buy an American horse in France, that means you must be doing something right.
Sure.
So similarly, the Middle Eastern market, which caters for both a turf horse and a dirt horse, um, the the pedigrees are there to satisfy every possible need. We've got a half brother to Romantic Warrior selling in 2 weeks time, so week and a half now. So it's incredible how the progress of that catalog, it has raised some in terms of numbers as well, but the quality of catalog in terms of demand for a very high quality horse and mediocre horse, uh, affordability. Basically it's catering for all segments of the market in terms of the quality of the horse and in terms of the affordability of a client. And Deauville is a beautiful venue as well, and it's literally a day after the sale you can go to Paris and you can see the French 1,000 and 2,000 guineas and Longchamp. So it's well organized, well timed, and since it is in May, these horses are not the ones who are under the pump. So they are nice, rangy sort, scopy horses that don't have to be put under pressure in March. So you have fast, short distance horses. Likewise, you have classic distance horses. A horse like Eldar Aldarov, he won 2 ledges. He was sold from the Breeze Up. So you can understand that it caters for a sprinter. At the same time, it caters for a nice long distance horse.
Great. And considering, the current landscape of the global racing, especially the bloodstock market, can you provide us maybe with some insights into the upcoming Arcana Breeze Up sales, including maybe key highlights or featured lots?
As I said, there's a half brother to Romantic Warrior who would obviously attract interest from the entire world, never mind anywhere. So and the likes of Frankels, Dubavis, there is those horses will obviously give you the best people wanting to buy. Let it be Camelot, Churchill, Dark Angel, Fastnet Rock, Galloway, a French sire, Invincible Spirit. Some of the top sires are there, so it certainly makes the sale quite interesting. A granddaughter by Frankel to Cloud Castle, Lot 60, and a son of the Bavi from the family of Planteur, actually, and Persian King.
Wow.
As a son of Wotton Bassett from the close family of Occupantist, top French family, a son of Siuni, the first foal out of a half sister to feed the flame. So yeah, there's quite a lot of top horses there, which will attract good quality people looking into it.
Sure.
There's even the American side of things. There's a half brother by McLean's Music to a dual Japanese Group 1 winner, Lemon Pop.
Oh, wow.
A half brother by McKinsey, Lot 40 to triple grade 1 winner, Mark Up the Mark. And there is a daughter of Madaglio Doro, a daughter of Justify. So there's a varied interest in there for everyone to come and enjoy.
For sure. How does Arcana curate the selection of horses for this sale, to cater to their preferences?
I think there is quite a strict selection procedure because over the years, the vendors have realized that they have been selecting good horses
Hmm.
and they have been attracting high quality clients. So high quality clients will spend good quality money. So it's a matter of it's a circle where the sales company needs to provide good quality horses, and those horses are coming from the consigners. If this is not done, the next stage where the client's spending good quality money will not happen. So the sales company is demanding high quality horses, and they are giving them the results in terms of financial rewards of providing good quality clients to come and spend money. So what happens is that's when the consigners also realize that they need to keep certain quality of horses to qualify into this premium bloodstock sale. If you don't provide the quality of horses, you will not get in. So it's a mutual understanding. I think that you want to get into the Arqana Breeze Up Sale, you need a certain quality of horse. So the consigner goes and looks for those kind of horses, buys those kind of horses. They get selected through a a bloodstock team selects them and puts them in the catalog, and then the bloodstock team and people like me try and get the best possible clients to
Sure.
Arcana so that they they get the choice of high quality horses, pedigree and physical to go and buy.
Definitely. Could you
Yeah.
share with us any notable success stories, or maybe standout moments from previous Arcana Breeze Up sales?
I think lately, if you see Eldar Eldarov, dual Group 1 winner,
Hmm.
Lezu, Group 1 winner, Rock Emperor, War of Will, the one I said came from America, went back to America and
Oh,
won a Group 1. Likewise, Chanel, trained by Francis Grafat, Group 1 winner, daughter of Nathaniel. And yeah, those would be the highlights I can think. There is a very long list of
I'm
horses
sure.
that I can provide you, but those are the top ones that I can think of my head. So yeah.
Excellent. And finally, on to the last question. Looking ahead, how do you see Arcana's Breeze Up sales evolving to further attract and engage with buyers, specifically, from the Middle East?
I think the Middle Eastern market, just by sheer growth, is going and getting bigger.
Hmm.
There will be more and more professionals who will be indulging in the industry. There'll be more and more owners which will be indulging in the industry. So, and they have come to Arcana, they have bought some horses from the Breeze Up sales, from horses in training sales that have gone on to do well in Saudi. So basically, likewise in Dubai, likewise in Qatar, and in Bahrain. So I think as I said, it's mutual where Arcana continues to provide that product, and the Middle Eastern people continue to come and look for that product and buy them and take them back. So the growth is there. There are more and more people coming into the industry, and in future, the way it has been expanding over the last, it's probably one of the only regions in the world where you will see the number of horses and the quality of horses, and the demand for that quality has been going up. If you go 15 years ago, it was probably Dubai which was buying quite a lot of 85, 95 rated horses because they all wanted to go for Dubai International Carnival. Then came the carnival, and the turf racing in Qatar started to increase. There was always a demand for the King's Cup and the Crown Prince Cup from Saudi Arabia, but there was no international highlight. But then they started the richest race in the world. So people want to buy higher quality horses. Likewise, Bahrain, which runs a boutique carnival, has been attracting some fantastic horses, some very high quality turf horses. So I think the region is growing and they need horses. They are demanding not just numbers, but quality. So to cater for that quality, I think Arqana will be looking at attracting that quality. Likewise, I'll try to educate as many people in that region to come and buy from Arqana.
Excellent. Thank you so much.